Good morning, everyone. We'll continue here in the PELE YOETZ in the chapter of Mitzvos, understanding just how precious and valuable every single mitzvah is to us. And he writes the following: V'oy lehem lebriyos, woe to the people, miyoy madinu miyoy matechecha. Woe is going to be to us on the day of judgment, and the Yom HaTeichecha, the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu rebukes us for everything that we have done. This is in reference to the day of a person's death, when they will leave this world and we will have to face the music. All of those excuses that we had every single day of our life, why we didn't do this mitzvah, that mitzvah, why we weren't more careful with this and with that. Wonderful excuses that everybody has. I was too tired, I lived in America, my friends were bad influences on me, it's hard for me, I have ADHD, I can't concentrate, I can't focus, I was born lazy, I was born angry, my parents aren't such good role models, my siblings aren't the best role models either, I live in a town and I live in a neighborhood where people aren't really so sincere about their commitment to Judaism. It has a negative effect on me. What do you want? I grew up with television in the house. I had watched TV from the time that I was 3 years old. How can you expect me to be a holy person? So on and so forth. We have billions and billions of excuses for all the things that we have done in our lives. He's really quoting Chazal over here. That's all good. That's fine and dandy, as they say. Come along with all the excuses that you would like to offer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But one day, after 120, when a person leaves this world, it's going to be called a Yom Adin, a day of judgment. Uyom HaTeichecha, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to reveal himself, and will be the greatest rebuke that a person could possibly imagine. Because suddenly all of the excuses that we had all these years, the thousands upon thousands and millions and billions of excuses that we offer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single day of our life to explain why we weren't doing everything that we could to serve Him properly, we will be standing and facing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and at that moment we will see clearly what a foolish person we were for 120 years in this world. How silly I was to chase after my base and my lowly desires just to make myself a little bit happier and more comfortable in this world. What an ingrate I was to HaKadosh Baruch Hu all of my life, because I didn't seize the moment and the opportunities to be performing the mitzvahs of Hashem. And I fooled myself, and I tried to fool HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but Hashem reveals Himself, and then He says, He never fooled me. Ani Hashem, lo shanise, I don't change, I don't slumber, I don't sleep. The same HaKadosh Baruch Hu that brought you into this world with all of the potential that was there in your neshama. The same HaKadosh Baruch Hu that designed you perfectly and brought you to the right family at the right time in the right place, which would allow your neshama to thrive and to elevate itself the most that it could in any other place and time in history. I am Hashem, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I know exactly how I created you and what you could have accomplished. And you didn't. That itself is going to be the great shock to the spiritual system of a person when they leave this world after 120 years. Ki yifkoid kel al aveira shadam dash be'akevav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to examine, and He's going to judge carefully all of the mitzvahs that a person trampled under their heels. Shenasu keheter, that they did certain averas, certain sins in their life, that they convinced themselves, it's okay for me to do such a thing. I live in California. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu expect of me? He doesn't expect me to be like a Jew who lives in Borough Park in New York. He doesn't expect me to live my life like a Jew who lives in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows I'm living in LA. I live in a place called Tarzana, California. Hashem doesn't expect that much. Nasu keheter, so a person cooks up in their mind all these false ideas that it's permissible to do what I do. And not to mention, says the PELE YOETZ, a person cancels out so many mitzvos, and even the small light ones that a person could have easily fulfilled. How hard is it for a person to say a bracha on their food? How hard is it not to turn the light on Shabbos? How hard is it in the world that we live in today not to eat kosher food? The food, you have stores on every corner. You can walk into the non-Jewish markets and find kosher food. It's not difficult. And therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to hold a person quite accountable for the smaller mitzvahs that a person trampled on. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says a person should have been careful with those. It's so easy. And says the PELE YOETZ, a person will be judged for the fact that he didn't value the real value of a mitzvah. For $1, a person will run around the world. He'll push himself to make a little extra money at work. But for the sake of making some extra reward for the mitzvahs, that a person trampled under his foot, and that says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kol Yavi the Mishpat, Hashem is going to bring everything to judgment. And we're going to have to respond and answer to Hashem why it is that we did the things that we did. But again, a person who appreciates mitzvahs and he values mitzvahs, and the Torah is what's guiding his life, he of course will be more careful and more particular to perform the mitzvahs in his life. That is the true nachas to Hashem. Have a wonderful day.